Well, Matt is a college professor.
That can't spell.
That's right.
You love to point that out.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
He finds the dark and the light.
He does.
The man is a professor.
Yeah.
Nobody else can say that here.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
At High Point University, and he's also works here, of course. And so something happened in your class that embarrassed you big time?
Yeah, this class that I teach is Intro to Communication. So it's kind of like public speaking, but it's also kind of the foundation for all communication majors as they go into the major and the other courses.
I remember the days.
So they have 4 different speeches they have to do, and we're currently finishing up the group projects. So I assign them into groups, and they have to pick. The assignment is they have to pick an influential movie or TV show or performance band artist, something along those lines that they want to examine the communication styles within that performance. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll watch a movie like A Quiet Place, and they'll talk about the nonverbal communication in that movie.
Got it.
Kind of, but it makes sense. Well, I got an email from one of my students after we'd already picked all our topics, and they said we would like to change our topic to a YouTube show that we like. And I was like, sure, no problem. Go ahead. I'm fine with that. So they get up to do their presentation a couple days ago. I'm sitting in class. They send me the PowerPoint that they're going to be using as their visual aid. And as soon as they email it to me, I see in big letters, The Big Foodies.
Oh, your podcast?
Which is my podcast where I sit with 2 other gentlemen. We're all 3 of size, and we eat food. And we talk about food.
You're tiny compared to the other 2 now.
That is true.
Yes.
Big foodies and Ozempics.
The video that they chose was not a recent video.
Oh.
So it was an older video.
Thanks.
They examined one that we did that was about struggle meals, where if you don't have, like, if it's close to payday and you're trying to, like, you're hungry, but you got like $5, like, what are you going to make to kind of get through that's going to be a good meal? And for 17 minutes, shouts out to Gabriel, Jack, Bailey, and Tyler for discussing and analyzing the way we talked and ate for 17 minutes.
So is this like video like on this big screen? Or
Yep.
Oh, wow.
It's on the projector. They're like, let's look at this clip.
And
then they play a clip of us just chowing down on some graham crackers with chocolate chips and peanut butter on it. And we're like, this is good. Did you get in trouble when you used your mom's chocolate chips with this when you were growing up? No, and we, back and forth. And I'm so aware of every single thing that's happening to me.
Yeah.
And I also feel like they're trolling me in a way
Yes,
in
they are.
doing this.
Yeah.
And the rest of the class is almost like they've pulled out their phones and are filming my reaction to this.
Yeah.
So now I'm sure I'm going to be on like Barstool HPU or whatever the Instagram account is.
And did you
love it.
give them a grade yet?
I have given them a grade. They did run short,
Okay.
and not all of them participated in the way they were supposed to, but their audience engagement grade was through the roof.
Oh, well, there you go.
That portion was great because they connected with the audience, no doubt. And then they pause the video and they're like, now you can tell by the way they're talking and the way they're dressed very informally that this is a casual podcast. You think?
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
podcast.
these are things that we're not even thinking about. We're putting it together. And so to have every move you make while eating dissected in front of your students is awkward and embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
But I cannot help but appreciate the humor that they brought to be able to do that.
I hope they get extra points for that.
Well, they're going to end up being probably one of the higher scoring groups because of just that. Because
Gosh,
of the
how
topic
bad your
and the
class?
no, they did. All the groups did good.
Yeah, but you said that like they only got one big engagement. All the other stuff they ran short, and this and that.
Well, they ran. There's like 12 or 13 different categories that I grade them
okay.
on. So those 2 things, that was the only knocks
Did they know
really
that?
had.
Do they know the grade yet?
No, they don't.
Okay.
They'll be getting it. The last group presents today, and then after the last group presents, they'll all get the grades.
You should get their phone number, and we should call them and tell them they got an F.
Don't you ever do that
You have
again.
to retake the course next semester.
Well, they found out I did this because we talked about getting a job, like workplace communication, and how to interview
What's that?
and things like that.
Well, you didn't use us as like
Please
we're not the
use us.
example, right?
It's like I can tell you all what not to do. and part of the grade is like create your LinkedIn and update it. And then one of them went on there and found my LinkedIn and was like, "What is this?" I'm like, started doing a deep
Oh.
dive, and so that's how that popped up. So then the whole class goes on and finds our socials, and they're like, "Oh, y'all sell merch? Like that's pretty dope. If we buy merch, can we get extra credit?" And I'm like, I can't say that, but like I'll appreciate it.
Wait, you sell merch and we don't at the radio station?
we sell merch.
They are light years ahead of
No,
things
I met with
that.
Matt about
Yeah.
some thing about and like the fact that all the stuff, the research he's done.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing.
Yes.
One of the classes I teach is about podcasting. This is the other one. So the podcasting class is mostly like the juniors and seniors, and you can tell a difference in the juniors and seniors. They're like, we're about to graduate, like we're just getting by, and the freshmen are still like, I have to make an A. I can't make an A minus.
Yeah.
So they care like so much more about their grades. So it's a real different. Like going from one class to the other, it's very different. But I have never. I've been teaching for 10 years, and I have never had a student do such a good job of roasting me in front of the rest of the class this
Bravo.
way.
Yeah.
It
Bravo.
was really good.
That's
it was
great
really good.
creativity.
And I asked, like, as soon as the speech was over and their time was up, I said, "So, how did you find this?" And he goes, "You're LinkedIn." I'm like, "God, that's a great job by you. Like, I can't get mad at you. You did such a good job."
They
It's
know
so,
how to research.
but yeah, it's smart on their part too.
Yeah, it is.
Their timing and person and just demeanor while they were doing the presentation to be able to be so serious while doing it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
did he crack a smile? It'd be hard for me not to laugh.
Like,
Ultimate troll.
They would kind of like chuckle while the video was playing because they would see me burying my face in my hands. Like, I don't need to see this video. I've seen it. I lived it. And, but
I ate it.
just the way they're like, now if you'd watch while he puts the peanut butter on the bread.
And Matt, did you, when you were watching the video, and it was an older one, you obviously weighed a lot more because of the dramatic weight loss. Could you see, like, you know, because you live it every day, so when you look at yourself, are you like, holy cow, I was bigger, or is that hard to see?
I can, especially in those videos, because it's a side profile. That's the worst profile.
Oh yeah, for all of
it's-
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad.
So I'm on the side profile. I can see it a lot in my face and my neck,
Uh-huh.
and you know, because when you sit, then your gut kind of gets pushed up, so you kind of see it there too.
yeah, that kind of gets pushed up. I mean, it
It gets pushed up.
goes
And
up there.
how many more pounds were you then, would you say?
Probably between that one, probably 70 or 75 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you suffer from the body dysmorphia where, like, even though you've lost 75, because you've lost how many now? How many?
84.
84.
Mhm.
Do you
Gosh.
still feel like you are that big?
At times,
Yeah.
absolutely, but there's other times where I'm able to do something comfortably that would have winded me earlier that I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is how normal people exist.
Yeah.
Like
Matt,
sitting in chairs at theaters and arenas.
Oh,
I'm like,
true.
oh, I don't have bruises on my hips now from the
Oh,
armrest.
yeah.
what you don't
Didn't
think about.
And now you can get more than one click on the roller coaster.
Yeah, I'm excited about that
True.
the next time I get
You
on
probably
one.
get three,
Oh,
at least
yeah.
three. Matt, would you like to race me again now that you've lost 90 pounds?
I'll race you again. I'm hopeful that my speed has picked up a little bit now that I'm not dragging
would
around
hope
extra
so.
weight.
Never know.
Yeah.
I'll race you.
I'll absolutely race you again.
You might beat me this time.
I won't be as winded. I feel like after the last race, I had to lay down.
Yeah, it didn't feel good for either one of us. I don't think.
I'm surprised you want a challenge.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
to every once
Do
in a
you
while.
want to blow out all your knees?
I've already done it.
Okay. I mean, again,
Yeah, well, my left knee has been blown out, knock on, but I've had 6 knee surgeries on my right.
that does not
Yeah.
sound fun to me.
It doesn't.
No,
No.
running or blowing
Like
out
a-
my knee.
A 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Just brace up.
That to me is like the most
Brace up.
where you have the most chance of hurting yourself.
Oh yeah, no, for
Is it a
sure.
Oh, yeah.
sprint?
Basketball, maybe.
It's a very fast burst of energy.
That's what Kevin Hart did. Kevin Hart like
Yes, he did.
hurt himself racing like an NFL player.
100%.
Yes, he did. Chad Johnson, I think.
Hey,
Yeah.
Matt, let me ask about the when the class was critiquing your video,
Mhm.
did anybody make mention of how gross it is that the way BB Shea eats?
They didn't bring that up.
Okay,
They
just
really
wondering.
tried
So
to
gross.
focus most of their energy on me.
Yeah.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
they were really pointing out, like, watch as he eats this. You can tell by the way they interact that this is a casual group of friends. And you can tell by the fact that they're sitting in close proximity that they know each other. Like, those are the kinds of, like, foundational things that they're trying to go through. Like, watch the nonverbals in his face when he takes this bite. You can tell he's enjoying
He's in
it.
pure
Got it.
ecstasy.
I'm like, that's so awkward. Don't
love
critique
it.
my chewing.
that is really great.
I love BB Shea, by the way. I'm not
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to just harp on. We've noticed
He's
because
a
we eat
disgusting
together.
eater.
Forgot to
Yeah.
look.
He does this like only when it's a spoon or a
Slurps a lot.
fork. He will put it up to his mouth and then instead of putting the mouth or the spoon into the mouth, he goes. He sucks it in.
Like a
Wow.
vacuum.
Like a fat person vacuum.
That can be dangerous. You could choke on
That's
that.
what I'm
Yeah, it's
thinking.
not smart. Yeah, you think everything he's eating is like hot
Yeah.
soup.
Yeah.
Right. I meant to look yesterday, but I forgot to look.
Just you wait till pasta
We
day
forgot
comes.
to look
So
because
on pasta.
Katie was dressed in her Halloween costume.
I was.
As
Really
everybody
threw
was
us
not.
That was my favorite thing of yesterday by far.
Mine too.
Because we had a costume contest after a weekly promotions meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And Katie was like, "Are y'all gonna do it before?" We're like, "We're kind of going back and forth." And we were all.
I said after.
Then we sent a text. We said
yeah.
after, and Katie didn't get the memo.
It was
And so
too
it was
late.
like 15 people in there, and Katie comes dressed full costume. What was your costume again? I don't.
I was Dia de los Muertos, but
Which
I had
is
already, for Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. Yeah.
I had already dressed up like Day of the Dead a couple times, so I knew, and those pictures had been posted, so I wanted to kind of change it up a little bit. So I wore my husband's costume, and then just kind of like made some changes. So it was a
Oh, those
new,
bins.
but an old. You know what I'm saying?
No, I love
Gotcha.
it. So we're
Yeah.
all in this. It's not
Somewhat serious.
somewhat serious meeting.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, it's like
a planning meeting,
It's like
brainstorming.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there's like management people in there and everything else.
Sales people.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Katie.
Hey,
Full garb.
We got to post the picture. It's very
Yes,
funny.
you have to.
I
It's
didn't
so
know.
funny.
Oh, well, because we had some calls right after our show yesterday
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we were doing, and so I sent the text. I think before we even got on those, like, "Hey, what's the plan?" Because we have that meeting at 10:30, and so what's the plan? Is everybody dressing up? And I didn't hear from anyone because we were all busy. And so after our calls, I was like, "Okay, guess I'll just get dressed." Didn't even take my phone into the bathroom while I was changing.
Yeah. And you just walk into the meeting like, uh-oh.
It was so
It's
great.
like an episode of The Office.
That was funny.
Yeah, we're like you pan the room and everyone's like all serious and dressed normal. And then you go to Katie.
Hello.
Yeah.
She
We have the video on our TikTok page. It's on our TikTok.
Oh, good.
it's on ours. Okay,
Yeah.
great, perfect.
Oh, it's funny.
We'll post the link to that as well.